Here's one from the old house I lived at. House is parallel to woods. Bedroom window has straight view at the woods save the back fence. I start hearing something that sounds like a bird chirping in the morning. In the middle of the night. It sounds like it's coming from the tree line at the back. Look out there for a bit. See something? Can't see it right, looks a bit like a black blob. Open the window and stick head out to attempt to get a good look. It moves. It begins to look more clear. Looks like a deformed / fucked up moose / deer. It's moving towards the fence. WTF ever, who cares? JPG. Looking at it a bit longer. It throws one of its fucked up limbs on the fence. Then it throws up another. It's climbing over the fence. It half sets itself down / falls into my yard. Moose and deer do not climb fences. Shit fills pants. JPG. Looking at it slumped over on the fence as my heart feels like it's about to explode. All the while it's still making that noise. It moves again. It's moving toward the window. It's not a deer / moose. Looks like a mix between a deer and a dog. It's almost at the window. I snap back into reality. Fuck. Wakes up entire house. Slam window shut. Everyone in the house rushes into my room. WTF is wrong and on. It's still in the yard but it's moving back towards the fence. I point it out to my mother. She starts screaming. Thing gets even more spooked, basically starts half limping half running to the fence. Does the same fucked up climb as it did before and goes back over into the tree line. The noise keeps coming from the woods, entire family, and I spend the rest of the night looking out the window making sure it didn't come back. It gets quieter and quieter until it stops. It was morning by then. Spoke to some neighbors, confirmed that they heard the noise. Heard the noise a couple more times, never saw the creature again. Still don't know what it would have if I didn't close the window.
Be teenage me. Used to go for walks around the town I was living in at the time. Pass by an old burned down building or whatever a few times. Decide to pop my head in and take a look around. Just rubble and plant life from where nature had started to reclaim the structure. In one of the far corners I notice a trapdoor. It looks relatively new compared to the state of what's left of the structure. Open it up, there's a ladder going straight down. Even with a bright midday sun pretty much directly overhead, I can't see to the bottom of the shaft. The metal rungs of the ladder are incredibly old and rusty, they look like they would crumble to dust if I tried to actually climb them. I count about 40 or so down before it becomes too dark and distant to make out the individual rungs. Grab a nearby rock, drop it in. Never hear it hit the bottom. Decide to come back later with a flashlight or something, to see if that will maybe help. Head back the next day. There's a cop car parked outside the building. They are staring right at me. Just keep walking. 2 weeks or so later, decide to try my luck again. No cops. Make it to the trapdoor. There's a shiny new chain and a huge padlock holding the thing shut. Turn to leave in disappointment, nearly shit myself when I find myself face to face with a camera. Skedaddle at maximum velocity, never go back. Years later, get curious again. Don't live there anymore, but decide to check it out on Street View. The building is gone. It's just a flat concrete pad now, like they poured a foundation and never built on top of it.
Okay, here's mine. Fair warning, I was drinking when this happened but I was only about 4 beers deep, so I doubt I was hallucinating or some shit. Be me. Country just recently relaxed lockdown measures. Friends immediately call me and say that everyone's going to party by the reservoir. Normally I wouldn't go to that kinda thing, but I've been stuck at home for like 2 months, so fuck it. Fast forward to Friday night, my friends and I are sitting in a semicircle on a grassy bank near the reservoir. There's like 100 people there but everyone's sort of split up into groups. Fires aren't allowed but there's a floodlight nearby so everyone's visible, but it's still really dark. Friends and I are all drinking and talking shit. Eventually hear bells, like the jingling of little bells that a fucking Christmas elf might wear on their shoes or some fanciful shit like that. Nani.jpg. Turn towards sound. Girl comes walking out of the dark from the direction of a nearby field, aka, complete blackness. Nobody else was in that direction. First thing I notice is that she's really pretty, like stone cold hottie with a body. Hair is really messy and she looks like she's wearing pajamas. Looks like she just got out of bed. She asks what we're all doing there. Partying. Lockdown's finally finished so we're allowed out again. Oh, I was wondering where everyone had gone. Okay. My friend eventually asks her if she wants to sit down, she accepts. Fucking nice one. Now we got the hottest girl I've ever seen sitting next to me. We all start talking and partying again. She's actually really talkative and funny. Is this love, bros? Night continues. At a certain point I get a bit too drunk and make the worst fucking mistake of my life. Quick edit, this girl introduced herself as Marigold. Thought it was super weird but she was really hot so I just went with it, anyway. I noticed this flower growing on the bank next to where she was sitting and she said it was really pretty. I get it in my drunk head to pick it and give it to her. Real me lady Reddit tier shit. I reach over her, I was on her right and the flower was on her left, and pluck the flower. As I pull back I hit her in the chin with the top of my head. WTF is wrong with me? Her hands are covering her face. I didn't know this at the time but the rest of our group had drifted off a couple of feet so we were sitting there alone. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's fine, I'm fine. She lowers her hands a bit, I can see like half her face. Pic related is the closest thing I can find online that resembled it. She has a porcelain doll face, not white as porcelain, it honest to God looked like it was made of porcelain. Painted like a medieval court jester with red lips and nose. Looked more comical than pic related, this was just the best I could find. Nose was longer, and the face was almost half moon shaped, had the same kinda hat though. It split down the middle and had two tendril type things with little gold bells at the tips. I'm fucking terrified at this point. She looks like she noticed and quickly covers her face again, it looks like she was pressing it into place like it was a mask but it was more like she was a doll 1 minute and a human the next. She looks back at me again and smiles. She's perfect again, completely beautiful and charming. I just kinda sat there for a while, dazed. She eventually gets up and tells everyone she's leaving, that's when I realized that only I saw that. My friends say goodbye and ask if she needs a lift. She says no and just walks back off into the dark. After a few seconds my female friends say it isn't safe and pressure the boys to go make sure she gets home safe. I flat out refuse but two other guys agree and go after her. They come back like 5 minutes later saying she was gone, they never saw her anywhere. Eventually I went home, still kinda shell-shocked. The next day I'm talking to my mates about it. All the guys are like, yeah that girl was hot but really fucking weird. None of them say they saw anything wrong with her face. Weird part comes later. I'm talking to my one female friend about it. She had no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, remember that girl who came out of the field? That weird fucking girl. She says no, there was a weird person who came out of the field and sat with us but it was a guy. She says it was a guy who called himself Marigold and he was the hottest guy she had ever seen. All my female friends confirm the second story. They seem to all think it was weird that we all remember a different person but only I saw the jester face.
I'm a new bundle of sticks so I'm not sure this is what you're looking for, but here goes. This isn't a meme and genuinely happened to my parents mid-1980s. Parents recently married, both in their 20s. Decide to go camping in cool California. The drive down takes all day, they arrive in the evening. Mom sits down while dad unpacks the truck. After a while mom begins to hear someone walking around the campsite. Quietly tells dad that she hears someone. They nope the fuck out of there. Drive 3 miles down the road, headlights off so no one can follow. Set up camp and proceed to get drunk off beer while listening to a boxing match over the radio. Starts to get late, they head to bed. Dad passes out really quick. Mom is in a half awake, half asleep state. Mom begins to hear footsteps outside the tent. She goes into hypervigilant panic mode, listens intently to every sound. Tries to shake my dad awake, he won't wake. Footsteps are getting closer. Mom keeps listening for what seems like hours. Footsteps stop right next to the tent. The man outside the tent begins whispering in the creepiest voice imaginable. Here I am. I'm gonna kill you. Man drags what sounds like the edge of a knife up and down the tent. Mom is frozen in terror, cannot move, cannot speak. She snaps out of it suddenly, screams. Jim, grab the shotgun. Kill that son of a bitch. Dad wakes up instantly. They hear the snapping of twigs like someone sprinting away. Parents don't own a shotgun, but the bluff worked. Dad gets up, runs after the man, but he's gone. Parents nope the fuck out for the second time before he comes back. They get to the car. Tires have been slashed. Literally miles from anywhere and trapped in the dark with a man hunting them. They try to pump the tires back up with an inflatable raft pump, obviously doesn't work. They both sit shivering in the car with one torch between them hoping he doesn't come back. About an hour later a ranger turns up, gives them a lift back to town where they get their tires fixed. Ranger says the local LE and Rangers recently started running patrols at night after a series of disappearances and murders happened in the area. Parents were almost the next victims.
Be 17-year-old me, junior in a PA high school. Massive nerd, playing video, don't really do anything exciting. Kinda into paranormal shit, and like the look of Urban Decay. Decide I'm going to do some URBXing. Eventually settle on Penhurst Asylum. Looking up advice on how to get in, place actually has a roving guard during the day. Pretty detailed instructions deep into Google, has pics, even talks about the supposed hauntings. It stresses repeatedly not to stay there after dark, spirits get pissy. Take my parents' camera, lie about going over to a friend's house, drive the hour and a half to Penhurst. Follow the path the page outlined through the woods, sneak past a guard in his truck. Spend a few hours exploring the buildings, getting good pics, really creepy shit. Getting dark, not worried, I packed snacks, water, and a flashlight. See the guard drive off for the last time, I'm alone in the complex. Exploring the Mayflower building, poking around, liking the spooky vibe the dark gives it. Find an administrative room on the second floor, big table in the center and a couple of chairs around it. Notice overturned filing cabinets with papers scattered. Start paging through papers to see if I find anything neat. Suddenly stop, something's really wrong. Goosebumps, hair on my neck standing on end, sinking feeling in my stomach. Notice a breeze moving the papers, don't feel a breeze, something fucky.gif. Hear metal scraping on the floor behind me. Before I can turn around, the fucking table collides at gale force with the back of my head. Fold like a bad poker hand. Windows shut down. MP4. Open my eyes again, no idea how long it's been. Had fallen on my camera, it's shattered, didn't think to try and grab the memory card. World spinning, can't tell if the papers are spinning too or if it's just me. Pull myself to my feet, stumble back to the stairwell as fast as I can. World isn't spinning anymore, sprint along the road to where I had parked my car, speed home. Try to tell my friends at school about it. Almost all of them call bullshit, only one guy believes me. Put it behind me, no more URBX for me. Be 21, planning yearly haunted house with friends. They notice Penhurst got converted into a haunted attraction. They're all psyched to go, looks neat, wanna see where I URBX'd. I'm leery, but agree. We go, have a good time. Good actors, but nothing special. Going through the different rides, get to the last one. A self-guided tour through the Mayflower building. Really not cool with this anymore. Try to back out, get goaded into it, figure there's strength in numbers. Exploring the first floor, neat to see how the tags have changed. Management was pretty thorough in clearing out the shit in the rooms, but it's all recognizable. Surreal as fuck. Notice the stairwells have all been either taped off or boarded up. Ask a worker about it, doesn't know why, just that orders came from up top that no one goes to the second floor. Fine by me. Finish up, not amazing but a neat experience. Walking vaguely toward the parking lot, friends are debating whether to grab food at the concession or just get to the car and grab it on the way home. Look back at the Mayflower building one last time, see movement in the window. Look closer, see something I wish I hadn't. A pale white man's face, looking straight at me and grinning. This fucking inhumanly wide grin. The grin and his face were as easy to read as a book. Oh, I remember you, motherfucker. Come on back up here. Let's tango. Frozen on the spot for what feels like 30 seconds, staring at this face. Eventually notice my friends calling me, they had gone, gotten snacks, noticed I wasn't with them and came back. I'd actually been standing there for closer to 5 minutes. I'm pale as a sheet, friends giving me shit, the one guy who'd believed me way back gets them to chill, we head back to the car and drive home. Have nightmares of that face for weeks.
It may interest some of you. It's not really much of a story. Not yet. The thing is, in the city I live there are many old abandoned factories, some of them were like that for decades. I'm living in a district where there are few near me. Some of them were demolished and some renewed, and there are now apartments in them. But among them there are few that for some reason was left untouched. I once decided to get into one of them, it was quite small, once a shoe factory or some shit like that. We managed to break in and pig related. So yeah, first floor was kind of disappointing. Nothing really interesting there. And really there wasn't access for the whole building. The end was the bigger room with a pile of rubbish. And a hole in a wall. We presumed it's the way up, and we were not wrong. All we had to do was to stockpile some stuff near it and somehow squeeze through. This is where it hit me, later friend told me he felt the same. That fucking uneasy feeling. There was something wrong, but hell, we both thought that the other one didn't give a fuck, so we both didn't say anything. Now, light was terrible and my friend only took couple shitty photos that shows nothing. Well, he took the two that can give you a look into what weird shit we walked in. Anyway, first room was normal. Nothing there, just some rubbish lying. And then we walked into a second, larger room. This is when it became weird as fuck. There was none of this shit on the first floor. And now the whole fucking floor was covered in styrofoam with these strange symbols on it. The whole fucking wall's covered by those symbols. Yeah, it may not sound scary at all, but being there combined with that weird feeling has fucking done it. There was something really wrong with this place, and we knew it. I mean, who the hell covers the whole room with such shit? But we decided to keep on. This is also where my friend's phone died. I didn't even bring one with me since I lived nearby and I didn't really have the need. Only thing we had was a cheap lighter. Anyway, those fucking drawings. They were also in the other room. More symbols and those weird fucking fetus-like things. Shit was unsettling at least. And the thing is, I only realized it then, that it almost felt as if someone was watching me. Which was absurd since there was no way to look into that building just like that. We roamed the second floor like that, looking at those weird symbols and fetuses. Nothing much really except those. We decided to slowly come back. This is when we heard something. Like a slight screech. And then the wind blew out our lighter. In split seconds we both figured that there was no fucking wind in this building earlier, not a slightest draft. Maybe we were both just paranoid, but we simultaneously noped as fuck. I don't really remember, I think I saw some movement the moment we escaped through that hole to the first floor. But that was probably nerves and all. It was dark, the atmosphere was weirding us out, and we lost our reason once we decided to get out of there anyway. Although this place can't leave my mind. I don't think it's the only one like that. I think I will prepare and I will check out the other factories. Maybe I will go back to this one. Maybe during the day. For sure I'm not coming there alone.
Me, 17, go on a backpacking trip over the summer through a school program. Me and like 10 other kids in Mount Skokomish Wilderness with a ranger and an intern. The ranger was a 60-year-old man, really quiet, and kind of grouchy. The intern was some college girl pursuing a job like him. Hike and camp for about 4 days, not much happens. Occasionally catch the ranger checking out some of the girls at the camp, don't think much of it. He only ever talks to the intern. About midway through the whole thing we all smell terrible, but getting used to it, important. Late one night, really windy, I have my flashlight and go to take a dump in the woods. Go to the latrine, on my way back, when I smell something fucking nasty. Like I said, we were used to the smell of BO and this definitely wasn't BO. Start following the smell in the dark, tripping over logs and shit, don't intend to go very far. Pass a tree and the ranger is just standing still beside me like a statue, says pretty warm out huh. Just sort of stand there, he goes walking back to the campsite and says the latrine is the other direction. The smell is still fucking awful, so I pretend to walk to the latrine, but once he's gone I go back and follow the smell. It gets really bad, it smells like really sour shit and vomit. Follow it, gagging, until I come across a little clear patch of ground. The intern is totally naked, sitting in a pile of her own shit, vomit, and blood, crying, totally smeared in all of it. A few bloody, shitty sticks right beside her. She's just crying with her legs spread and sort of shaking. I ask if she's okay, she says yes. Ask if I can help, she says no. Walk back to camp fucking terrified and guilty. The ranger is in his tent, I guess, because I can't find him around camp. Go into my tent and turn out flashlight. Lie there for a while, can't sleep. Hear big footsteps walking away from right near my tent. I was near some trees, so I guess he was standing outside of my tent for a while. Don't sleep at all. The next day, eventually find her filtering water, ask if she's okay. She says she doesn't know what I'm talking about and to go help the others make dinner. The rest of the trip I literally cannot get within 10 feet of her, she's just always not near me. She and the old ranger dude are really talkative. He's really friendly, compliments my outdoor skills a lot, etc. Hike out eventually and go to a ranger station/lodge for a night before driving out. There's an older woman ranger there, I tell her everything that happened, she seems very concerned and takes my phone number. That night I go to shower, come back and find my room and all my belongings totally raided. Say fucking nothing to anyone the whole drive back to Boise. This was before Facebook. I've tried to look some of them up since but only ever had luck with the intern, who I eventually think I found on a USFS website by pure chance when I was researching something totally different. It only had the first name listed but the face looked right.
Me. Be a couple years ago. Be 20. Just moved out of parents' house. New house is old as hell. Most of the furniture was left by the old tenants. Dead people shit, fuck yeah. Neighborhood is alright but not great. Throw a ragga first night to celebrate. Buddies buy me summer 2/6 of Fireball and a cube of beer. Finadai tonight.mp3. Start the party off right. Shotguns all around. Start to feel really messed up. Like way too drunk for what I've had. Sometime during the night blackout. Wake up the next morning on a concrete floor. Pitch black. Hungover and afraid. Start feeling the walls. Also concrete and very narrow. Search around for a bit and find a light switch. Click. The light illuminates an extremely small room. Like I'm talking small, 10 feet by 4 feet by 5 feet length by width by height. Where the fuck am I? See a trapdoor on the roof and try and open it. The door has a little give but it's clear something's on top of it. Give it all I got and manage to get it open. The thing on top was a large rug. Can't move it aside from where I am, so I crawl under it. Get out from under it. I'm in my living room. What? Phone immediately lights up with texts and missed phone calls. Where the fuck are you, man? This isn't funny. Call me. What? Call one of my friends and he freaks the fuck out on me. What the fuck, Anon? We were looking for you all night. Ask him what happened last night. Man, you just sorta walked off somewhere in your house without saying anything and we couldn't find you. Tell him it was in a crawl space type thing under the carpet of my living rooms. That's impossible. I was in your living room all night. I stayed up to see if you came home. My face when. Ended up living in that house for a couple months but moving because of more spooky shit like that. I do have other stories if you guys want.